Welcome back to Mastering Rogue Legacy with Brian. And to start things off today, we have Sir Judson II, who is a paladin, which is a good all-around kind of fighter. He's got hypergonadism, which means more knockback, as well as being a savant, which means he's got randomized spells. So let's see which spells we have. We have the Blade Wall. We have a Magic Axe. We have Conflux. And I believe we can also get a Chakram with a Paladin character. Yes, there's a Chakram up in the top left as well. And since he's a Paladin, he can also spend some mana to block if we know that we're going to take damage. We've got a Sprint Rune, as well as a Vault Rune for double jump, as well as some Siphon to gain back some mana each time we kill enemies. We've already done our shopping, so let's go ahead and head into the castle and see what kind of damage this character can do. One of the challenges of being a savant is keeping track of what your spell currently is and taking advantage of it when possible. I've got a Chakram right now, which I think is a good kind of all-around spell. And I might actually go ahead... This is a... Oops! I just accidentally hit the wrong button and cast the spell against no one. Brilliant. Let's go ahead and cast an axe against this guy. Interesting, your magic damage also has the extra knockback effect, and so this guy has hypergonadism, which causes his not only his sword to attack enemies and knock them back even more, but also the magic spells, because we saw that axe hit that guy and he went flying. But a paladin does a fair amount of damage, and so I'll be able to one-hit kill a bunch of guys here in the castle, which is a good thing. Makes a lot of things easier. Oops, yuck. So let's try to avoid damage like that. And just stay alive. And this is an interesting room where there are various turrets on the ceiling firing at us, which adds a little bit of extra challenge. But I think if I take things slow and easy and just avoid the fireballs, slowly advancing through this room will also mean that we are likely to peel off enemies one at a time, like we already saw there, and as a result be able to make it to the chest and gain some gold. And that's typically the case that if you run at normal speed, it's pretty easy to dodge through the fireballs. Yeah. Oh! And then walk right into the spike. That was foolish. Alright. This room has 3 enemies. I'm pretty sure I can take them out, especially if I get one of the projectile enemies first. Okay, I guess all these guys have potential to shoot projectiles. The guard box, since his projectiles go straight across, were the easiest projectiles to dodge, and so the last enemy I was going to try to attack. This is a very large room. It's a medium-large room. I'm trying to decide if I want to use my Conflux spell, which is the current spell that my Savant has, and I think I will. That sends these little barbed things flying around the room where they may hit a variety of enemies. Oops, yuck, I just jumped right up into the fireball of this Plonky. And in fact, yeah, I'm starting to get worried about my hit points here, so let's go ahead and cast a Chakram. That'll go hit that Plonky over there. And then if I time things right, darn it, which I won't be able to do, I can dash over there and avoid damage. Yuck, okay, so we're not off to a good start in terms of Brian avoiding damage. So I really need to focus on that a lot. Let's also be very careful about the rooms that we choose to enter. And don't go into rooms that are going to kill us. But I think I can actually make those good choices as well. So if I just concentrate, I'll be okay. This room seems to have some higher level enemies. It's taking 2 hits to kill most of them. It's often the case, yes, that you can hit enemies through the floor like that. And since I have this particular spell, I wonder, yes, I can kill those guys as well. Which isn't really necessary. But just wanted to kind of show off the technique of being able to get at various guys either through the floor or through the walls. And since I do have Siphon, I gain 2 magic points back for each enemy I kill. It is useful if I can kill them with the sword in order to build some magic points back. Scythe is a spell that we didn't see when I was testing in the original room outside the manor where you can test out all your spells. But it's the next spell up for casting as a result of my Savant power. We can see it in the upper left underneath my gold. And that was the boss room, which is terrific because we can get some power-ups. Okay, another reasonably large room. I think I will be using the Siphon here. Hiya! And I managed to miss both of these guys. Alright, let's try that again. There we go. Alright, and now we have switched to magic daggers, which are very good against guard boxes, because you can fire right back at them the same way they fire at you. And now I've thinned out the enemies enough that I feel reasonably confident coming in just melee style. Oops. There's still a scout above who's firing little blood balls at me. There's a couple of them, as a matter of fact. But if I just try to peel off enemies one at a time, I can get my gold, not encounter too much resistance at once, and find opportune moments to get up in a good range to attack. Okay, there's a guard box up here as well, but if I take out one enemy, and then the guard box, and then the scout. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, I seem to be settling into a little bit better of a rhythm. We've already lost a bunch of hit points, so I'm still not sure how long I'll be able to last. But let's try to make... Hey, okay! This will be the entrance to the Maya. This teleporter room, indeed. I don't really want to go in there, but I will take a quick peek. Oh, it is also the entrance to the forest. Okay. So this teleporter room is the official entrance to the Maya, right here. I don't want to go in there. The forest, however, I will take a peek in, and if there's some easy rooms here in the forest, such as this one, I will definitely go through them, but if we encounter some hard rooms, I will back off. Alright, here's another easy room, especially with my little sprint dash room that allows me to quickly cross across a gap like that. And I'll go ahead and use a dagger on this guy and use the shotgun on this guy, because I really do not like the chain doors. Alright, and I need to also remember that I've got this incredible knockback effect, which can actually be very useful, oh crap, against a number of the guys who try to shoot projectiles at you, because you can knock them way back, and then the projectiles tend to spread out when they're attacking you from a long distance away. And so there's lots of room for you to kind of jump in between the projectiles of various enemies when you are attacking from a long distance. Alright, so we'll go ahead and finish off that chain tour and try to avoid the spiky ball. Great. Sometimes they just die, colliding into the wall. I've got a magic dagger next, but that room above me is going to be reasonably difficult. Can I do it? Yeah, I think I can still do it, though. Especially... Nice. And if you manage to kill a chain tour while his spiky ball is kind of stuck in the wall, like I did there, then the spiky ball, the spicator, will end up dying immediately. And so that's a good technique for dealing with the chain tour guys, is basically, yikes. I was trying to do a down strike, and it was not succeeding. Let's see. It's going to be a little dangerous to try to get in there. Let's peek into other rooms and see if there are easier places to go. Nice! Silver bracers. That's a nice piece of equipment to get at this stage of the game. And we are likely to have sufficient money to buy them. However, I really want to buy gold gain up. So, I might have to trade that off versus the bracers. Let's see. Can I use a spell here? Let's do this. Magic Axe. I think I might have also hit the Mr. Bones at the bottom. And this is a pretty big room. I'm going to go ahead and cast Conflux as well. And hope that these Conflux orbs bounce around and kill some guys. And I might even cast it one more time. Actually, now I can get down here. Yes, great. Kill this guy, and once he's out of the way, it's easier for me to get through the rest of the room. I can also now see the layout, and now it's a layout that I recognize. And so if I take my time... Actually, let's just cast one more set of Conflux and try to hit a few more of these guys. Nice. Great. Spending a bit of mana, but it's better to spend mana and stay alive than to not spend the mana and end up dead. And on top of it, I see a chicken leg down there. And so I've just earned some hit points back. And so effectively, you can kind of think of spending mana as one way to trade off mana for hit points if you can manage to kill some enemies who are going to drop chicken legs. You never know if they're going to drop chicken legs, but you happen to get lucky. Alright, and the last chain tour down there, I'm just going to leave him alone. And I want to check out the mini-map. Let's take a peek down into this room. That's not a particularly great room for me, with the spikes all along the bottom, and the skeleton who's going to shoot bones from a distance. So let's continue to look around. This guy I can kill with a magic dagger, and then with my knockback I should be able to push this guy back far enough that his projectiles get separated out enough that I can dodge in between them like we just saw there. That's what I was talking about earlier. The rest of this room I think will be difficult, so let's continue to peek around and try to focus on, rooms or individual enemies that will be easy to deal with, and occasionally also just get a little bit lucky and hit some guys through the walls as well. Alright, but that's definitely another technique to take advantage of. There are many times where you can hit enemies either through floors or through walls, and whenever it's convenient and possible to do so, I highly recommend it. It's one way to stay safe. Alright, and so we're kind of making some progress here in the forest, which is great because we'll also earn more money here in the forest. Alright, can I hit that guy? The warg is still alive, but now he's down to 1 hit. And so as he rushes at me, I can just time things right. Let's not hit my head on the ceiling with all the spikes in here. But if I do tiny little jumps... Oh boy! Great. Yes, we can continue to advance. Alright, here's another room with a bunch of spikes. I don't love it. I'm going to turn around and try to find easier places to go. At the beginning of the game, with the first few characters, it's definitely smart to just focus on the rooms that you're going to stay alive in, so you can build up more money and be able to buy better things. If I can peel off this bloob, then he will be an easy enemy to kill. And is the other one over here too? There's a warg over there. This room is going to be relatively difficult to advance upon, so I'm going to kill this guy. Oh crap, here comes the warg. Actually, now that he's up there, I can hit him with a magic dagger. Yeah, this is kind of working for me. Now I have Conflux up next. Nice. Okay, look at this. Conflux, I cannot defeat this guy. Are there any spells I have? I don't think any of my spells are capable of reaching down through that wall to kill the Planky, and so I will not be able to get this fairy chest. Fairy chest objective, defeat all enemies. I think there's only a certain few spells. If I had the Firewall... Crowstorm is a spell that we have not seen yet in this particular playthrough of Rogue Legacy that would also be able to defeat that guy. Many of the fairy chest rooms. So occasionally you'll run into rooms like this where you can change your spell. Since I'm a savant, it doesn't do a whole lot because my spells are changing every time I cast them anyway. But most characters have a fixed single spell, and so this gives you the opportunity to swap it out with another spell. In this case, I could pick up Scythe. I won't do that right now, because I like darn it. Darn it! I did not see that guy. Oh boy. Get away, get away! Alright, kill this guy off before he can attack again, and we need to get to that Earthasaur before he starts casting his little stalagmite at me. There we go. Oh man, this was just a tiny little room. It does have a bunch of gold though, so that's good. But I'm down to 15 hit points. Yay! Chicken leg! Alright, I can probably survive another hit once again. But at this point, I should really go back to the teleporter room, back off, get back into the castle, and see if I can fight through some easier rooms, and also not run into spikes immediately after running into this room. And yes, ideally, I want to find a big, sparse room, since my next spell is Conflux. Conflux is one of those spells, since the things just kind of bounce continually around the room and deal damage to all enemies, that is best used in a large room. And so, let's actually take a peek to the right. That's a room that we haven't looked into yet. And so perhaps it will be the type of room I'm looking for. It's always good to be patient with spikes and things like this. Both to make sure you don't accidentally take damage as a result of your impatience, and because, once again, these guys sometimes just run into the wall and die. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen to this one. Alright, this room, if we stay on top, is very easy, so let's take another peek. Yikes, okay. That's a fairy chest, no fighting room. It is very difficult. Unless you're willing to tank a bunch of damage, which I am not, because I'm very low on hit points. I'm sure we will see that room again further on in the playthrough and make different choices. So I'm going to teleport back to the beginning via the teleporter, and we will explore some other rooms of the castle that we haven't taken a look at yet, such as the one that goes right down right here. Oh, reach me in time! I might be able to do this. Yes! Vault rune, bracers. Great. Got a new rune. And now, if I can stay alive... Crap! Oh boy, that was close. Kill him. So basically, that's one of the fairy chest things that really works on reaction time, as well as being prepared to fight enemies in the room. But oftentimes you run into a room and it'll say, reach me in 5 seconds. And you have that much time to get across the room. I think the room layout is very often just like the one that we just saw. 2 chicken legs in a row. And some magic. This is the luckiest room ever. This is my new favorite room in the castle. I can survive another hit, guys. That's pretty cool. Alright, just some money in here. And there's 2 guard boxes over there, and with Blade Wall, I'm gonna struggle. If I get Magic Dagger, I'll go back into that room. But my next spell is Blade Wall. Once again, you can see your next spell when you're a Savant, or whatever spell you have, in the upper left-hand corner underneath our gold. And so, let's wait until we have a good opportunity to cast and make use of Blade Wall, and then see what our next spell up is going to be. And this could be a good spot, and it's not really great. I can just kill these guys melee. It's not a problem. Alright, so we'll look for a good opportunity to take advantage of the Blade Wall. This is a room that I don't think we've seen in this playthrough before. So this is kind of a betting kind of room. Chance of a lifetime. 25% of your current gold, the chance to open 1 of 3 chests. 1 will triple what you paid, but the other 2 are empty. And yeah, it's kind of a hedge your bets kind of game. It's fun to play. We'll play it. I was lucky this time, hooray! And so I earned extra gold. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. I like to play most of the time. Perhaps the odds are ever in your favor. Okay. This room above me is very wide. I don't love it. I don't like my survivability chances in there. Let's take a peek at this room to the left instead. You'll notice that your hitbox does not extend all the way up to your head. And so it pretty much just goes up to your shoulders, and so these little spiky balls can go past you. There's a lot of rooms where that will end up mattering, and so it's good to know kind of exactly how your character's hitbox works. And that is one thing that you can really take advantage of, and not get too panicky about dodging spike balls. Ooh, this is a very nice room. Chicken legs and coins. Awesome. I'm up to a fair number of hit points. Now I'm going to go back into that room that I just said I was going to avoid. That's a little bit up here. Because I think I'll probably end up taking a hit in this room, but I think I could do some good things. Alright, we're going to cast a Blade Wall there. Good. That magic guy ended up just kind of flying into it repeatedly and taking damage. And now I have magic daggers, which I would really like to save for that room with the guard boxes that we saw at the bottom left. And so I'm going to go ahead and try to finish clearing out this room, just because it doesn't seem too difficult. And while I'm here, I'll take a peek at some other rooms. Fairy chests take no damage. I happen to know the layout of this room, and with a dash and a double jump, I can get to the fairy chest, so watch this. Double jump, dash, and we get over here and get a sprint rune cape. Alright. And we can do the same thing on the way back. Double jump and dash. Sadly, the chicken leg fell onto the spikes because I wasn't quick enough. Fairy chest defeat all enemies. This room would require the magic axe, I believe, which I can cast from right here, which would hit both of those guys. And so let's see if we can get to switching over to having a magic axe. And so if we just run back and forth in this room, we can open the chest and then come back and get the gold. Okay, so we want to come back to that fairy chest room if we have the magic axe. This is one place where being a savant is extremely helpful. The ability to rotate through a bunch of different spells gives you capabilities that most other characters wouldn't have. And so now I can go down here. This is the room where I wanted to have the daggers to fire at the guard boxes. And so I'm going to... Whoop! Okay. Oh, and there's also a... Okay. This guy is not so bad. Oh, crap! I'm getting trapped by the... I didn't see the spike balls coming in time. Alright, let's dodge the fireballs. Take this guy out. Wait for a moment. There, and hit a guard box. And now with only 1 guard box left in the room, I feel much more comfortable finding the right timing to go down and take him out. Okay, great. And then there'll be a chest at the end of this room. We can see it on the mini-map. All the orange checks. Whoa! That is a Solak. That is a pretty high-level enemy to be finding. He shoots giant fireballs, but they move very slowly. And so we just are careful, we can manage to dodge all of those attacks. Okay, and we just got, was that night bracers or something? I didn't even notice. We got another blueprint, which is great. It's always good to accumulate more equipment. Although I think the silver bracers that we got earlier might supersede those. I've got Conflux as my next spell. And there's a couple more rooms in the castle that I could still go to that I haven't visited yet. And so let's go... Let's try going right and then down. I should mention that I spent a good portion of my Friday live streaming some Terraria. Just started up a new Terraria world because I was in the mood and ended up spending 6 hours live streaming. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. Okay, this room to the right is a very bad room. I don't want to go in it. It has a giant skeleton who's going to shoot a ton of bones at me. And it had the fireballs shooting on the floor and the ceiling. So instead, I'm going to go up in this other direction. And see if there's any easier things to deal with over here. Because it's up and then right. Okay. So yeah. And if you either follow me on Twitter or on Twitch... Oh boy! This is extremely risky. So there's a mini-boss to the right. It's these two plants that fire fireballs. They're called Stolas and Focolore, I believe. However, I've got a good spell to enter the room with, Conflux, and I might get some other good spells. And so I'm going to kind of spam some magic and see if we can make some kind of magic happen. The other kind of magic. The magic of luck. Okay. Magic Axe I can hit them with. Magic Axe, I can hit him again. Chakram, I can hit this guy on the floor. Oh boy. Ah, I couldn't quite get him. Alright. Sir Judson II has been slain by Stolas. Buying equipment is the fastest way to raise your stats. Very true, very true. Alright, let's do some shopping and select an heir. Once again, we have 3 children to choose from. We have an Archmage. Dextercardia is a weird trait. It switches the number of magic points and number of hit points that you have. And so, for example, for an Archmage, we might end up with a Archmage that has a bunch of hit points and very few magic points, which doesn't work out very well for him. It's rarely a good trait. We've got a Knave, ADHD and Dwarfism. That could be an interesting character. And a Barbarian with a magic dagger. And I think... Yeah, a Knave is a risky character. I think the Barbarian with a magic dagger, Barbarians have lots of hit points, is going to be a good way to go. And at this point, we managed to get a bunch of gold, and now I have the opportunity to unlock Gold Gain Up, and this is one of the most valuable things to spend money at the beginning of the game, simply because it earns interest forevermore. And so I'm going to buy a Gold Gain Up. I can't buy another one, because now it's gone up to costing too much to bring it up another level. So the next most important thing to buy, then, is equipment. We got some silver bracers, as I recall. Yes, which would give us plus 12 magic. Okay, that's not the bracers that I thought they were. We also got the night limbs, which would give us plus 6 magic. The silver limbs are much heavier, and so we'd have to buy some equip-ups. So I'm not entirely sure that I want to spend money on that yet. Let's also take a look at the new runes that we acquired. In general, at the beginning of the game, it's good to try to get 1 rune on each piece of equipment, so that you can have at most 5 runes in play at one time. And so I could purchase, for example, another vault rune. I've already got a double jump. That would give me a triple jump, which would still be useful. And I could also purchase another sprint rune to get multiple dashes. The double jump or triple jump could be somewhat useful, but I'm not necessarily sure that I want to spend money on that right now. For the most part, I find that if you have a jump power-up and the sprint ability, those are the main movement power-ups that are the most valuable. And after that, extra power-ups, I find, kind of lose value as you kind of move along. So instead, I think I'll either buy some equipment or continue buying things here. Let's go for some upgrades. If we upgrade the Knave into an Assassin, which I don't know that these are character classes that we've done in this playthrough yet, we will unlock more of the castle. Specifically, this is a very, very good one. Potion Up. Basically, when you gain health potions or chicken legs, you get more mana and more health back as a result of potion up. And so, like gold gain up, this is one that pays huge dividends over the long term. And so that's a very valuable one to spend money on. And Spell Thief is one of my favorite classes, and so I want to go ahead and unlock this class as well. Finally, with my remaining 425 gold, I don't think I have enough to buy any of the equipment that's over here, and even if I did, I wouldn't have enough money to then buy the equip-ups to equip it. I guess I could buy the Night Limbs, but instead, since those will help my magic, and I'm currently a Barbarian who's a magic weak character, I think we'll either buy an equip-up, or a health up, or an attack up. And I think attack up, Barbarians kind of have a weak attack power, and so I think that'll help us the most for this current character, and will also be good help in the long term. Alright, so we're a Barbarian, we've got a magic dagger, we're hitting guys for 30, which is pretty reasonable. And yeah, we are in good shape in terms of the upgrades that we purchased back over in the manor for our future bloodline. But looking at the clock, I think that that's where we're going to call it today. So next time, we will continue with this Barbarian and see what we can get done in the castle. I hope, as always, you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again soon with more of Mastering Rogue Legacy. Bye-bye.